Let's head over to the United States now, where the delusional Democrats have finally realized they need to become less woke if they want to win the next election. Joining me to discuss this and more is founder and CEO of The Conservator, Jamie Lee Franklin. Jamie, thank you so much for joining me. A group of Democrats in the US have released a list of words that Democrats are apparently no longer allowed to use. They're woke trigger words. And apparently, if the Democrats ever want to win again, they need to stop using them. They're things like therapy speak, so dialoguing, othering, microaggression, anything that sounds like it's straight from a university, like subverting norms and systems of oppression, and anything that minimizes crime, like justice involved or involuntary confinement. I mean, that would seem to be half of the Democrats' lexicon, right?
Totally. So I went to see Berkeley. I graduated a few years ago. But I remember when I was on campus, them asking me what my pronouns were. And I grew up going to Catholic school my whole life. So this was a foreign concept for me at the time. And I thought when they asked me that they were saying, and I was like, oh, I'm Miss Chandler. That's my maiden name at the time I was unmarried. And they're like, no, I'm talking, are you she, her? And I'm like standing there looking at myself. I have long hair and a skirt. And I'm like, why is this even a question? So I'm glad Democrats are finally starting to figure out some stuff. And I think they're going to be battling within their party between this activist base and just kind of more of the normal people. I know that they're trying to move into the center because they've just lost so many people in America, and the last 2024 election showed that. And I'll say this too, Gen Z, they're saying right now, is on track to be the most conservative generation since the Great Depression. And I think it's largely because of this. My generation, we grown up just being inundated with these terms over and over again, and it's kind of uncool and out of touch.
And what does any of it mean? Justice involved, microaggressions, endless pronouns. It just gets more and more absurd.
Yeah, and it just goes in circles too. Like, my favorite thing that they do is land acknowledgements. I don't know if you guys do that in Australia, but that's a thing in the US.
Started in Australia.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, so they acknowledged, I guess, the last tribe that held possession of this land. But I'm like, what about the 100 tribes that conquered that land before that land? So it's just like, where are we going back to on this? It's just absolutely ridiculous. And like I said, in America, at least, a lot of people with inflation and everything are just trying to get food on the table. And so it just seems so out of touch. And it's all these rich liberal elites in San Francisco or in Manhattan, and the middle of the country is just like, we're over this, we're moving on.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, we are the capital of land acknowledgements here in Australia, and it really makes people annoyed. But now I want to take you to Gavin Newsom's California, where fire hydrants are more likely to be used as bidets for the homeless than actually fighting fires. Trump and Gavin Newsom are now in a huge feud around Texas redistricting that favored the Republicans, and Newsom's promising to redistrict California to kind of level the playing field. Here's what he said on Instagram earlier.
We now have moved from a legislative effort to have the backs of the people of Texas, and now we need to have the backs of people all across this country. We've got to disenthrall ourselves with the notion of whether or not we should play hardball to how we play hardball.
So is this part of the whole Democrat rebrand? Gavin Newsom is now going to become the tough guy, and will it actually work?
I don't think so. So as you can see, I'm in DC right now. That's where I live. But I grew up in California. I lived there for 22 years. And I lived in the Bay Area. And so I've seen Gavin Newsom as mayor of San Francisco, and I've seen him as governor of California. And every single time, anything he governs becomes worse and worse and worse. California is a beautiful state, and it used to be the golden age of America there. And now it's just in complete chaos and disarray under him. And so I know he's doing all these political tactics right now, but as you saw with the guy of the fire hydrant, this is a normal thing that happens in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Oakland. Many of these cities, unfortunately, look like third world countries because they are so mismanaged. And so I think Gavin Newsom is trying to run for president for 2028. And it says a lot about the Democratic Party that people are saying that he's a front runner. But I think it's going to be impossible to escape this terrible record he has, ruining my beautiful state. I think Americans, by and large, will turn him down.